Okay guys, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Now, fasten your seatbelts. Here we go. Alright guys, I'm back. It's Friday, April 17th, and it is 9:50 p.m. Eastern Time. What we're going to be doing in this video, and we do have two tonight, this video will be getting us caught up to date with the Q post. So that is what we're going to do in this video. I do have people to thank, but I'm going to wait until the second video to do that because it's more of a regular video. A lot of people watch the Q videos that don't watch the other videos. So out of deference to them, we'll wait until the second video to do my thank yous, and I do have some unique thank yous. Anyway, all right, let's get into Q here. Q's been posting, and of course we've got posts from yesterday and today to go over with Q, and there's quite a few of them. So hopefully I can do it in one video. We'll have to see. But, and I do want to apologize to you guys. Last night, you know that I have a spinal injury, and I had to pick up a lot of things for my parents, and I was in severe pain last night, and I actually ended up, which I hardly ever do, I took something for pain, and it knocked me completely out. By the time I woke up, it was, you know, around 11 o'clock at night, so it was a little late to start at that point. So anyway, we'll make up for it tonight. We've got two on tap. All right, so we're going to start off where we left off with the Q videos, and we're going to just pick up from where Q picked up. All right, so we are on drop 3972, transcript and video, NPR's exit interview with President Obama. And Q left us a link to that, obviously, and then he said, think then, think now, start 1540, and I would assume that is where Q wants us to start in the video, at 1540, and then of course he has in brackets, knowingly, and you know, that is a regular thing that Q says, knowingly, because these people knew exactly what they were doing when they did it. They did these things knowingly. They're not innocent mistakes. So anyway, let's take a look at this. And hang on here. We'll move this forward. Hang on. Sorry, I should. One of those days for me. 1540. All right. I'm having a Joe Biden moment. That's bad when that happens. All right. 15. We'll start it at 1531. And I'll make it bigger for you guys.
And that's something that I'm also going to be thinking a lot about in my afterlife, my post-presidency.
You talked about this with the comedian Trevor Noah the other day, and you said a number of things in a row. You observed that there had been contacts between members of Mr. Trump's staff and Russian officials. Right. You noted that Trump benefited from the hacks. Your spokesman, Josh Earnest, has gone on to say this week that it's obvious that Trump knew what was going on. To what extent are you suggesting some kind of cooperation between the president-elect and Russian officials here?
Well, I'm not suggesting cooperation at all. Keep in mind that those statements were in the context of everyone now acting surprised by the CIA assessment that this was done purposely to improve Trump's chances. And my only point was that shouldn't be treated as a blockbuster because that was the worst kept secret in this town. Everybody understood that. It was reported on. Steve, if you go back and look at your stories, if you read any mainstream publication, you would see that if you have a hack of the DNC and a hack of Hillary Clinton's most senior advisor's emails, And those things are then released in drip, drip, drip fashion over the course of months, and that seem to generate consistently negative coverage, despite the fact that there's nothing in there that's particularly controversial, that it's mostly just, as I said, political gossip or routine emails between folks who are working in a campaign environment. Then it's a pretty clear inference that people would draw and did draw that this was helping the Trump campaign and it was hurting the Hillary campaign. That doesn't mean that the Trump campaign was coordinating. It just means that they understood what everybody else understood, which was that this was not good for Hillary Clinton's campaign. And when you combine that with the fact that the president-elect has been very honest about his admiration for Putin and that he hopes to forge a more cooperative relationship with him and focus on the threat of Islamic terrorism, then my only point was we shouldn't now suddenly act as if this is a huge revelation. In October, we said, after being very careful about it, because we had no interest in appearing as if we were putting our thumbs on the scales, we did what was almost unprecedented, which was every intelligence agency in the federal government arrived at a consensus that the Russians had hacked the DNC.
Okay. It's interesting going back and having the benefit of knowing what we know now. It's interesting to go back and revisit this. It really is, because we can see the lies that he was saying and the fact that he was blinking a lot and seemed hesitant and saying a lot of uhs and whatever, to give himself time to think, leads me to think that obviously he knew he was lying. He knew he was lying. These are things that they did knowingly. They lied about this. And it's interesting just watching his whole body language and what he is saying. And the thing is, he's a slippery guy because he's believable. He is believable. Now, we know better. We know better. But it's easy to see how he took so many people in. So hang on here and let's go back to, and let's just, I guess they have a transcript of it here as well, which would be interesting to read when we have more time. But, Q is saying, think then, think now, start at 1540, which is approximately where we started, knowingly. He did these things knowingly. He is guilty. He is very guilty. Now, this from Lisa May Crowley, Hussein lying, Russians hacking the DNC and Podesta emails, says there was nothing controversial, lies regarding every intel agency, concludes it was Russia, CIA, Russia mask hack, CrowdStrike. Now, we know that it was not Russia. We know that it was Seth Rich. I think everybody that is awake realizes that. So it had nothing to do with hacking. There is absolutely, positively no way that the DNC was hacked. It's not possible. So, and this from Dio Presso Liber, SunQ2 on Twitter, Hussein lied. What more is there to say? Of course he knew who was behind the hacking of DNC emails and Crossfire Hurricane, CIA. He was not merely negligent or clueless about what the CIA was doing. He was leading the coup against the newly elected president and knowingly engaged in attempts to overthrow the government of the United States. What happens when a perpetrator knowingly commits treason and seeks to overthrow the president? Read the statute, and we've read that several times, and that knowingly comes to bear quite a bit. If anyone should knowingly commit these things, well, Hussein was definitely. I believe he was the kingpin, but behind all of this. Maybe not the very, very kingpin, because we know that there are people that pull the strings, way far above these people. But in terms of what we can see with the naked eye, he was responsible. Of course, there are definitely powers behind him that were wanting this to occur. They wanted to destroy America. That's pretty evident now. Anyway, it says traitors will be punished accordingly. Some will rot in prison. Some will take their own life. Some will receive the death penalty. They will all stand before God and answer to him. And that is true. These people, if not in this life, then definitely in the next, they will answer for what they have done, as we all will. So I know so many people are like to say, oh, I want to see them swing, but don't be so quick with that, because, definitely we want justice to be served. We want justice to be served, but ultimately they will receive justice. Maybe some of them will escape in this lifetime, but that no one will escape in the life to come. And so I'm a little bit cautious about saying things like that about, oh, I want them to die, because I know that I'm a sinner as well. I've done things that I'm ashamed of. We all have. I mean, some of us, it's just something very, very small. Some of us, it could be murder or whatever, but I hope not. But we have all sinned and fallen short of the glory of God. All of us, every single one of us. So that's why it makes me kind of cringe when I hear people say things like, oh, I can't wait to see them jerking on the end of a rope. To me, that's, I don't know. I have a hard time with that. Not that, if it's decided by the powers that be, the justice community, that is what they deserve, and that is the justice that they're meted out, then okay. But I'm not going to be gleeful about it. I don't want anybody to die like that. I would like for them to, I would like them to repent and turn from their wicked ways. That's what I would like. That doesn't mean that they shouldn't face justice. No, I mean, you still have the consequences to pay. So just like if you're drunk driving and you hit somebody and kill them, it doesn't matter how sorry you are. You're still going to have to pay the consequences. But it's better for you in the next life, though. If you are sorry for your actions. So anyway, all right, enough of that. Let's go on now. And here we are on the next one, and it's 3973. And it says Obama trained and supplied ISIS. Trump destroyed ISIS. Now, let's take a look at this. Now, and again, we have Obama here. It says, with the steps I ordered last month, we are speeding up the training of ISIS forces with Sunni volunteers. Obama. Now, this isn't the first time we've played this, but let's take a listen. I'm just going to make sure that my volume is up, and it is. Okay. I want you guys to be able to hear it.
As I've said before, this aspect of our strategy was moving too slowly, but the fall of Ramadi has galvanized the Iraqi government. So with the additional steps I ordered last month, we're speeding up training of ISIL forces, including volunteers from Sunni tribes in Anbar province. As I've said before, this aspect of our strategy...
So, and we know that. And, it was strange to me because I remember when Obama was in and ISIS just seemed to come out of nowhere and just mushroom out of control. And then you were hearing about all these deaths and the horrible beheadings and things that were happening. And I remember thinking, where did these people come from? And how are they gaining so much control? And with the whole might of the U.S. military, why is more not being done? Well, I understand fully now, but at the time I didn't. And it was quite perplexing to me. But what I found astounding is that as soon as Trump got in, wasn't very long and you didn't hear about ISIS anymore. So if Trump was able to do that, definitely Obama could have done it. And he could have done it. He just didn't want to. He was supporting them. All right, let's go back now. And it says, who trained, supplied ISIS? Well, the Obama administration did, most certainly. What if Hillary Rodham Clinton won? Well, we know that they had a 16-year plan to destroy America, and they were halfway through that plan, but nobody expected her to lose. So, yeah, if Hillary was in right now, we would be just about 3/4 of the way into that 16-year plan to destroy America. Who knows what America would look like? It doesn't look too great right now, but we'll blame that on the virus. Yeah, I have my own thoughts on that as well. But anyway, so what if Hillary Rodham Clinton had won? Well, we would all be screwed, basically. It would be absolutely disastrous, especially with what we've seen from Hillary and all the things that we've learned about the Clintons. Yeah, wouldn't be good. Who destroyed ISIS? Well, the Trump administration destroyed ISIS and our wonderful military. And knowledge is power. Q. Absolutely it is. I would not disagree with that. And President Barack Obama's reference to U.S. training ISIL forces has raised eyebrows, no less because of the White House's odd edit in the transcript of the president's speech on confronting Islamic State. After getting briefed on U.S. efforts to fight the self-proclaimed caliphate occupying large swaths of Syria and Iraq, Obama told reporters Monday at the Pentagon that the U.S. was ramping up the training of local forces to complement airstrikes conducted by the U.S.-led coalition. What he actually said, however, was, we're speeding up training of ISIL forces, including volunteers from Sunni tribes in Anbar province. ISIL stands for Islamic State of Iraq and the Levant, and is the U.S. government's preferred term for the group, also known as ISIS, or more recently, Islamic State. The official transcript released by the White House contains the word Iraqi in brackets, followed by the acronym ISIL, instead of something much more intuitive, such as prefacing the acronym with anti. The clumsy edit allowed one to read the statement as if the U.S. Commander-in-Chief was not confessing to training jihadist militants all over the region, but only the ISIL forces based in Iraq. Obama's omission and the White House's attempt to explain it away have caused some perplexity on Twitter. Well, yes, it did cause that, and I do remember that. I remember that very, very plainly when that all happened, and the furor around that, and all. But now we know that's exactly what he was doing. He was arming and training these terrorists, and some of those terrorists ended up taking American lives. And who's to blame? We all know who's to blame. All right, and oh, look, and a little shaved behind. Hopefully you can see that. All right, he's feeling so much better. He is healing every day. Takes about 6 weeks. He is about a week and a half into his recovery. So, next week I take him back to the vet so that she can check him over and make sure he's okay, but he's doing well. Anyway, sorry. 3974, Twitter CEO Jack Dorsey tweets about pasta and satanic verses, May 24th, 2006. Now, you know something, and here is the link, but I have clipped that out to save us a little bit of time. I have a little bit of a problem with this, and I'll tell you why. Q is posting this, but to most people that read this, they're going to think that, Jack Dorsey was reading like the Satanic Bible. Well, the Satanic verses doesn't have anything to do with Satan. It has to do with, well, actually, and it was written by Salman Rushdie. I just want to show you because I want to make sure that you guys have the whole truth. remember there was like a death, whatever, put on Salman Rushdie's life because a death sentence basically placed on him because of he wrote this, and it was about it was published in 1988. The Satanic Verses is Salman Rushdie's fourth novel, first published in 1988 and inspired in part by the life of Muhammad. As with his previous books, Rushdie used the magical realism and relied on contemporary events and people to create his characters. And the Muslims did not like this book and put a death sentence on him. He had to be in hiding for a very long time. In fact, I think he's still in hiding, if I'm not mistaken. So, but it was about the Quran. It referred to the Quran as the Satanic Verses. So anyway, that's what the whole hoopla was about, and it has nothing to do with Satanism per se, unless I'm really out of it. I've never read the book. I don't intend to read it, but, you know, that is what it was about. So when we come over here, we see that Jack Dorsey from Twitter tweeted the following: making the good pasta, reading through some amazing parts of the Satanic Verses. The golden threads begin to intertwine. Now, granted, I think that there's code stuff in there, definitely. But I wanted just to let you know that the Satanic Verses is it's a novel by Salman Rushdie, and it's extremely well known. But here's the other thing. He says, reading through some amazing parts of the Satanic Verses, but the other thing that just struck me was it's not capitalized, and the name of a novel should always be capitalized. So maybe he's not talking about that, but I don't know. Anyway, Q said it will be your choice whether to know Q. So obviously, Jack is throwing out some code words there. We know pasta, of course, is code. And so Q is just letting us know that, all of these people, not all of them, I shouldn't say all of them because that's very unfair, but a lot of these people that are so against Trump and just against anything biblical or conservative or good or wholesome, a lot of those people, it's going to be our choice whether we want to know or not. And some of this, quite frankly, I don't want to know because I think it's shameful what they do in secret. I think it's beyond shameful, and I just don't have that curiosity where I want to see what they do to their victims. I think that would be just, it's bad enough that I know, but once that comes in through your eyes and gets in there, I don't know. I just don't want that in my head, personally. All right. Okay, now, here is the next. It's 3975, and the title is Clear Your Mind. And this is very interesting. Now, I can't go out to it because if I do, I'll get a copyright strike. But it's a song. And it's called, I can show you it, and I can pin this to the links, or to the first comment in the comments. I can pin it there, but let's take a look. This is it, and it's called Above and Beyond Great Falls. Above and Beyond Great Falls. It's very relaxing, and so anyway, Q gave us a link to that, and I think there's a specific reason why. And it struck me immediately when I saw this, because I'm very much into frequencies, and Tesla actually had done a lot of research into frequencies and how they affect us. And someday I've got to do a video on that, because let me tell you, there's so much information about that and how certain frequencies can heal your body. They really actually can. And it's interesting because I always kind of marry that with what I know about scripture because God spoke the world into existence. Sound. It was sound that created the world. It was God's sound, but it was sound. And so the idea that frequency can heal us is really, it's kind of foreign to us right now, but I do believe that knowledge was kind of just, I think everybody kind of knew it, and they've kind of buried it in the last couple centuries. But anyway, let's go back here, because I suspect there is a healing frequency in this. That's what I suspect. And I know I start saying that and people will say, oh, that's New Age. No, that is God's creation. And I do have another thing that I want to pin to the first. I'll pin it to the very first comment. It'll be pinned at the top of all the comments. I'm sorry, I'm having a hard time talking tonight for some reason. But the reason I just had a feeling, and I'm not the only one that thought this, but anyway, let's listen to Lisa Mae Crowley. Relaxing music, reading the Bible helps too. The dark rabbit hole won't be for everyone. I cried, had nightmares, felt nauseous, and rage at what I saw. Wiener laptop comments made career New York Police Department officers throw up. Proceed with caution. And that is true. And then, did Flotus just post for Q? Beautiful Q. Thank you. 3975. We have to step back, patriots, and allow our minds and souls to be healed by God. The constant saturation of our mind with all the evil the cabal engages in takes its toll, and it does. I listen to healing music every single night because I have to get the remnants of what I have read that day and looked at and whatever out of my mind, because sometimes it gets to me because I'm looking at this stuff every day, all day. So, yeah. Anyway, now this by IET 17, he actually speaks what I was thinking. I don't have the capabilities to check, but if someone does, I bet Q music is tuned to 432 hertz and is given for a very specific reason. 432 hertz is better aligned with the universe. Why is most music and media tuned to 440? I have to be careful because this topic right here is highly censored. They don't want you to know. See, music used to always be tuned to 432, but they changed it. And the 432 is in harmony with your body. It helps you be more aligned with the Earth's resonance. Like the Earth has a resonance and a frequency, and that's what the Schumann resonance is. That's why Schumann's music was so popular, because his music was done in the Schumann resonance, which I believe is 8 hertz, I believe. Anyway, everyone should listen. Could Q music contain frequencies that deprogram? That's what I'm thinking. How many of you knew about 440 versus 432? Different frequencies have different effects on matter, particularly organic matter and water. Now, to prove this to you, I have a video, and it is probably one of my favorite videos of all times. I love it. I absolutely love it. I've watched it over and over and over again. If I played it for you, I'd get a copyright strike, but it's going to be pinned to the first comment there. Please do yourself a favor and watch this video, because it shows the effect of different frequencies on matter. And it is absolutely amazing. So that's all I'll say about that. I'll probably come back to this topic at some point because it's something that I believe in and that I've experienced. I love to listen to music which is in a healing frequency like 432 or 528, or there's lots of good. 174, the frequency 174 is very good for pain relief, and it does work. I sleep with that on every night. So anyway, let's go on to the next item. All right, so 3976, Dr. Smith, hydroxychloroquine and azithromycin combo is an absolute game changer for COVID-19. And of course, we know that now everybody, all the doctors that are using it are saying how effective it is when you use the right drug, not chloroquine, which is what Tom Hanks and his wife supposedly used. And they said, oh, we had such a terrible reaction to it, trying to equate that with hydroxychloroquine. Chloroquine is an older version of it and does have a lot of side effects, but hydroxychloroquine, no. And I've told this to you many times that I myself have taken it. Lupus patients have to take it forever, and they're also finding that it has an effect on fibromyalgia, which I want to look into deeper. But anyway, so this has a link here. So let's go out and look at the link. And yeah. So Dr. Stephen Smith is an infectious disease specialist on using hydroxychloroquine and azithromycin combo to treat COVID-19 patients. It's an absolute game changer. I think this is the beginning of the end of the pandemic. I'm very serious. Let's listen to what he has to say here.
News that we're breaking tonight on the Ingram angle. Dr. Smith, one of the most preeminent infectious disease specialists in the United States. His father was a legend. But Dr. Smith, you pointed out that not a single patient of yours, COVID patient, that has been on the hydroxy regimen has had to be intubated. For people who don't know what intubated means, please explain quickly.
Yeah, so intubated means you're in respiratory failure and you have to be put on a ventilator. Intubation means actually putting the tube down into your trachea and then you're placed on a ventilator for support, respiratory support. We've had, I mentioned the 20 intubations, over most all of them occurred in the first 2 days. More importantly, no person has received 5 days or more of the hydroxychloroquine and zithro combination has been intubated. The chances of that occurring by chance, according to my sons Leon and Hunter, who did some stats for me, are 0.000 something. It's ridiculously low depending on how you look at it. Yeah. It's ridiculously low no matter how you look at it. We worry about selection bias in this situation, but I cannot think of a reason why, if all else is equal, why people that have received 5 days or more, or even 4 days or more, this hydroxychloroquine zithro regimen wouldn't get intubated. In other words, if the regimen didn't work, why would it just be the people that didn't get nearly complete the regimen? Most of the people were in the first 2 days.
Right, Dr. Smith, we're going to have you. We're going to have you back. Yeah, it's a game changer, correct?
It's a game changer. It's an absolute game changer. I think these data go to really support the French data. Now you actually have an intra-cohort comparison saying that this regimen works. And I'll get some real statisticians besides my sons to look at that.
Dr. Smith, thank you for all the work. You and I and our medicine cabinet of folks and all your colleagues. Thank you.
Laura, I think this is the beginning of the end of the pandemic. I'm very serious.
Oh, wow. This is unbelievable. Well, Dr. Smith, all the naysayers and the people dismissing this.
Yeah, I believe that too. I mean, right from the beginning, doctors who put patients on that drug combo, the patients were getting better and they weren't needing the ventilators. And you'll notice now that the call for ventilators has really tapered off. Because, number one, because they're finding that it's not effective. Number two, because they're putting people on this combination, this drug combo. Well, at least in states that will allow it. So yeah, I do believe it's a game changer. Personally, I really do. And I think that this could, it just makes me laugh because I don't think the deep state counted on there being a cure. I don't. And that is why they're so against it. That is why they're, continually trying to harp against this drug and say that it's not safe, it's not tested, whatever. It's got FDA approval. Of course it's tested. It's just absolutely ridiculous. But anyway, let's go back here. And this says Facebook just announced, just thought this was interesting. Facebook just announced another step in trying to set the record straight about misleading information about the novel coronavirus on its platform. In the coming weeks, the company will start directing people who have previously liked, reacted, or commented on harmful misinformation about COVID-19 to information from more authoritative sources, such as a Mythbusters website by the World Health Organization. So now Facebook is, I guess, partnering in some respects with WHO. And, if you are believing, let's say that you're reading articles about hydroxychloroquine, well, then they're going to redirect you to the WHO website and, educate you the way they think you need to be educated, because, we all have to be uniform in the way we think and what we, they want us to all think the same. They do. They want us to be little carbon copies of one another and just do what we're told. Well, that doesn't work out so well. Not for me. Not for you guys either, obviously. All right, let's go to the next one. And we are on drop 3977. POTUS identified the COVID-19 cure back in March. Yes, he did. And here he is talking about it. Hydroxychloroquine and azithromycin taken together have a real chance to be one of the biggest game changers in the history of medicine. The FDA has moved mountains. Thank you. Hopefully they will both, and then he's got parentheses, hydroxychloroquine works better with azithromycin, International Journal of Antimicrobial Agents. So there you go. And he did talk about this way back then. He was talking about it just about before anyone was. I mean, it was like he was looking at the data from overseas and seeing that they were having success with this and was trying to get doctors to try this here. And of course, we know that he was, flogged severely for it and still continues to be flogged for it, even though he's right. And down here are 3 Q posts from quite a while ago. Well, this was February 7th, 2018. Actually, they were all February 7th, 2018. And says, make sure the list of resignations remains updated. Important. When does Big Pharma make money? Well, they make money when there's a sickness, right? Curing or containing cancer, AIDS, etc. Mind will be blown by chain of command, Q. And the second one, what if cures already exist? What about the billions provided to fund or cure to fund the cure development? And that's where a lot of money goes into cure development, when in actuality they really do already have a cure. Sheep, these people are sick. Then, how many top medical researchers found dead in past 5 years? Why is this topic relevant now? Why does the U.S. taxpayer subsidize meds for the rest of the world? That's a good question, isn't it? And I think that, I really think that Trump is going to delve into an area where no one has gone before, because nobody has dared go before. And I think that he is going to get into the face of Big Pharma. And I really do believe, well, he talked about this way back, releasing cures to people. There's many of us, myself, I've been sick now for a number of years. I have a spinal injury, but I also have fibromyalgia extremely, extremely badly. In fact, I had been diagnosed with it about 5 or 6 times before I even believed that I had it, because I thought I was invincible. And I just could not believe that, this illness would make me feel that sick. And I couldn't believe it. I kept thinking, no, it's something else. No, I don't have that. No, it's something really easy. Maybe I'm missing a nutrient or this or that or whatever. And I kept denying that I had it. And one doctor said, I'm going to prove it to you. And he did. And let me tell you, if I found out that there's a cure, I'd be taking it. I would be, unless it was dangerous to my health in other ways. But because, and I think there's a lot of people that are suffering with things that are curable, but they're holding it back from us. They're not wanting to let us know. So honestly, I think if Donald Trump has his way, those cures will be released to the public. And who knows how many lives will be saved. All right. So let's go on here, and we are on drop 3978, POTUS in the way meme. And we have seen this before, and it is so true. In reality, they're not after me, they're after you. He's just in the way. He says, I'm just in the way. And that's true. It's us that they want, right? I mean, Donald Trump is just in the way of them getting to us. We're just, we're the worker bees. That's what we are to them. We're just going to work and serve their needs and bring them what they need, make money for them. That's all we are to them. They don't care about us. And Donald Trump is sticking up for the people, and that is why they hate him. One of the reasons, anyway. Now, let's come down to the next, and we are on drop 3979, and chloroquine, CHQ. And Q has linked to that same video that we were talking about earlier with the frequency and everything. He has linked to that, which I can't go out to for obvious reasons. And he says, clear your mind, heal, Q. But notice the capitals, CHQ is chloroquine. So Dio Presso Liber, SunQ2 on Twitter says, I see what you did there, Q. CHQ, clear your mind and relax. The cure for COVID-19 is here. Q has posted 3978 before. Cabal is after the Patriots, and POTUS is standing in the way and told us the cure in March. The fake news mocked him. Sick. Very sick. And come down to the next, and we are on drop 3980, or 0. Renegade meme. We've seen this before as well. This is, of course, Obama, and Renegade was his Secret Service code name. And this is the definition. 1, a person who deserts and betrays an organization or country or set of principles. As in synonyms, traitor, defector, deserter, turncoat, rebel, mutineer. Well, yeah, that pretty much describes him. So I guess he was aptly named. And on to the next. And this is 3981, drop 3981 from today. And he leaves us with a link and says, together we win. Yes, together we do win. All right, let's go take a look here. Says, hang on here. Says, let me see. Tomorrow, 17th of April, is my birthday. My birthday wish is simple. Please send me your video of yourself, no matter what part of the world you are from. But please tell me. We are the world and we are watching. Where we go one, we go all. Best birthday gift ever. And here we've got happy birthday, brother. So let's listen.
Los Angeles, California. Where we go one,
we go all.
All right.
Los Angeles,
Los Angeles, California. Where we go one, we go all. Yes, indeed. And let's come back here. And let's take a look at this by Lisa Mae Crowley. Yesterday, SSG Payne posted that his birthday is today, 17th of April, and asked everyone to send videos of themselves. W. Winnigane's video birthday greetings got queued. I'd count that as a cue, amplifying SSG Payne's request. Happy birthday, friend. 20 deltas, where POTUS tweeted at the same time as Q with 0 minutes between, indicating Q team member close coordination with POTUS, hoping this means the hammer is about to drop. And look at this, because these are 0 deltas here. Let me see if I can make this a little bigger for you guys on your tiny phones. I love me my tiny phone people now. I'm not making fun of you. Now this, Biden, Obama were a disaster in handling the H1N1 swine flu. Polling at the time showed disastrous approval numbers. 17,000 people died unnecessarily and through incompetence. Also, don't forget their $5 billion Obamacare website that should have cost close to nothing. Now, if you look at this, 12:25 on April 17th, well, at 12:25, Q posted, and he posted the one about the hydroxychloroquine that we read there, that the Q was posting Donald Trump's tweet about hydroxychloroquine. So there was a 0 delta, meaning that Q and POTUS posted at the exact same time, meaning there is close coordination there between the two, because that's just too big of a coincidence, isn't it? And down here, here's a second one. Como ridiculously wanted 40,000 ventilators. We gave him a small fraction of that number, and it was plenty. States should have had them in stockpile. And that was at 1 o'clock on April 17th, and at 1 o'clock, well, 1300 in military time, same thing. Q posted the following: together we win. Where we go one, we go all, the one that we just looked at. So there's 2 0 deltas there today, which again shows very close coordination between POTUS and Q. And again, drop 3982, he posts the Punisher. And below it, now this is good. He says, we are ready. Set 1. Mission good. Q. Let's go take a look at the link that he gave us to look at, because we can. All right, now let's listen to this. It's 4 minutes and 37 seconds long. Hope I don't get any strikes against me, but it says FBI corruption. Solomon reports says indictments may be coming this week in the FBI's corrupt handling of the sham Russia collusion investigation. And going back to what Q just said, he said this is set 1. So there's got to be more sets to follow. If you name the first set 1, you assume that there's going to be a 2, a 3, a 4, whatever. So let's listen to this.
Reporter John Solomon, editor-in-chief of his new media outlet, Just the News. John, great to have you with us. More and more is being revealed, but it's great to have you. And more is being revealed, but it all is much the same thing. It's all about FBI official political corruption. And this is even more emphatically damning, because it's very clear that the FBI under President Obama knew that a Russian intelligence operation was being run, a disinformation campaign, and with the help of an former MI6 operative who was at the center of the FBI investigation and effort to overthrow the president, the man who would become the President of the United States. This is outrageous. And it gets more outrageous by the day because no one's been held accountable.
Yeah. Listen, in my worst nightmare, I could never imagine what would have come out this week. The level of information that the FBI had that raised red flags that they should have never, not even for a moment, entertained Christopher Steele as a human source, as a confidential informant, is now overwhelming. Overwhelming evidence. Let's think of the things we know. One of the people he was talking to was a Russian intelligence official who was under surveillance by us. They had a separate FISA on him, yet they were taking Christopher Steele's word that that was credible information. His other source disowned it. He's paid by Hillary Clinton. Some of his information is disproven right away. He exaggerates his record at MI6. All of these things came out this week. Christopher Steele should never have been shown a door inside the FBI, and instead we sustained 2.5 years of an investigation into false allegations, put this country and our president through an unnecessary process.
Unnecessary. This was an attempt to overthrow the president. This was an attempt to align the entire FBI with Russian intelligence objectives and missions. And this should result not in a discussion about, the unseemliness of a sordidly, politically corrupt officialdom of the FBI under President Obama. It should be about a sinister cabal operating in the intelligence agencies, the FBI, and the Justice Department to overthrow a president. And we have not been talking about the wrong things, but our leadership in Washington has been talking about the wrong things and feeding us pablum when in point of fact they are refusing to bring these people to justice. And I say refusing. This is outrageous that we're having this discussion in 2020. Yeah. It's just outrageous. We're talking about 4 years ago.
Yeah, no, it's taken a very long time. And part of the reason is the FBI and the intelligence community are very good at obfuscating and hiding the truth, whether they redact things, claim they're classified, falsified documents, which they did in this case. They have done a good job. But I will say this, there is some fairly significant evidence at this very moment, this week, the last couple of weeks, Lou, that there is some criminal investigative activity that I think will result in some actions coming out soon. It's not going to be a lot. Don't expect 10 or 12 indictments, but there could be a handful of indictments and much more information. And I think one very important thing, the FBI had something right. There was a campaign that was taking Russian information and trying to influence the election. It just wasn't Donald Trump's campaign. It was Hillary Clinton through the person of Christopher Steele and his Russian informants. That has to be resolved. And one of the documents that are still sitting out there unchallenged, the intelligence assessment. We said, our intelligence committee said that the Russians were trying to help Trump win, Hillary lose. That does not appear to be the case from the new body of evidence.
Yeah, I think it's been clear for a long time, frankly. I think this is just more evidence supporting what we already knew in my judgment. And I think the American people are just about tired of getting shined on and fed a bunch of, I'll be kind, pablum. John Solomon, thank you for making sure.
All right. Now, that's awesome. Now, and what John Solomon said is that there's a handful of people, there's going to be these indictments, and it's going to be coming out very soon. He said, don't expect a lot, but there's going to be a handful of indictments. But if we go back over here to what Q said, says we are ready. Now, that means it's imminent. It's imminent, which just goes along with the countdown, 3, 2, 1, whatever that we looked at in the last Q post. They're ready. It's imminent. And he says, we are ready. Set 1. Mission good. Q. So that should bring some, that's good news. To those of us that have been waiting, it's good news. And to those of us that have been saying, oh, there's never going to be anything. Well, let's wait. He said over the next week or so. Let's give it a couple weeks and see where we're at that time. And because I do believe that, well, sometimes my eyes tell me nothing's happening and I get very discouraged, but I have to believe that it is. And I think this is a very good indication that we are well on the way to seeing at least the first set of people brought to justice. All right, now let's go on to the last. We are on the last Q post for today. and it brings us completely up to date. And what is it? It is an American flag. It is a beautiful sight to behold. I happen to believe that the American flag is the most beautiful flag in the world. And yes, I was born Canadian, but I got to the States just as fast as I could. I love Canada, but I don't know. There's something about America that just resonates with me. I love the American people. I love their spirit, and I love the nation. It makes me see, I tear up when I talk about it because I love the States, and I love the I don't know, there's such bravado. There's Americans, they're so generous, they're so giving. Most are very kind. Most. Of course, you've got some bad eggs in there, but I don't know. It's a country of explorers. It's a country of inventors. It's a country of brilliance, of artists and musicians, and just the best of everything is in America. That's what I think. And doesn't mean that other countries don't have things to offer, but I love America, and I know you do too. So anyway, that is it for tonight, but it's only it for this video because I'm going to upload this video and I'm going to be recording the second video for tonight. So I will see you in the second video if you're up for it, and I hope you are. If not, it'll still be there tomorrow. Well, I hope anyway, unless Twitter decides to take it down. But all right, so thank you guys so much. Thanks for listening, and thanks for your patience and your kindness and all the good things that you are. You guys have a great night. Please stay safe, stay well, and keep seeking the truth, because deception bites.